Hey guys, back again with another autopilot, navigate on autopilot video. This is the same commute I've done all week and it has executed it flawlessly. Received my second software update last night in the first 11 days of owning the car. I took delivery on August 5th. This is a Model X Raven with full self-driving. And just wanted to see if there is any differences. This is software 2019.28.3, and we'll see if it handles the autopilot, navigate on autopilot the same as it has been on 28.2, which was pretty smooth and flawless. So there we go, autopilot engaged, car is in complete control. And we'll see what happens here. If you saw the first video, actually, you know what? I don't think I've posted this commute. This is my normal morning commute. We're in Sacramento, California. We are on Business 80. Actually, no, we're on Interstate 80 right now, getting ready to merge in a fairly major interchange here to Business 80. Navigate on autopilot, I'm sure most of you are aware, but it will take you from the on-ramp to the freeway or highway or interstate to the off-ramp. It will make automatic lane changes. I have it set up as a setting in Navigate on autopilot to do the lane changes without any kind of confirmation on my part. There is a setting where it will put the blinker on, it will tell you it wants to make a lane change, but to make that lane change you actually have to touch the blinker knob to confirm, and then the car will go ahead and make that lane change by itself. I have it in the sort of the standard setting. There's also a Mad Max setting, which I've yet to try, and what that does is it's just a quicker, more aggressive maneuver when changing lanes. So have not tried that one yet, looking forward to trying it, but we are in the standard setting now. Back to this commute. The commute is, we're in the interchange now. It took the interchange on its own. It's telling me that there's an upcoming, or that it wants to make an upcoming lane change, which means that my blinker should be popping fairly soon. The cool thing about this technology is it uses all the surrounding cameras on the car to assess total traffic scenarios. So it reads cars both on the left and right from, I think, about 300 yards ahead, a couple hundred yards behind, and reads the speed of those vehicles. There it goes, makes the lane change completely on its own. It reads the speed of these cars and the trajectory of these cars on the left and the right to see where they're coming, how fast they're coming, and navigates the most efficient way, supposedly, to your destination. Which I'd say it's probably 80% of the time. I mean, there's some scenarios where I go, oh, you know what, I would probably make this lane change to get ahead, but we all know the game you play with that, right? As soon as you make that lane change, that lane slows down. So you never really know. The enigma of traffic. Motorcycle, that's another cool thing. It will, I'll try and mark that on the video, but it recognizes lane splitting. It recognizes the motorcycles that are lane splitting, and it will show them on the screen coming up. Also, if you're on a smaller road where there's cyclists present in the bike lane or on the shoulder of the road, it recognizes those as well, and will slow down or maneuver to avoid those, which, coming from a avid cyclist myself, can definitely appreciate. I would feel a lot more safe on the road cycling if I knew all the cars were in autopilot or had an autopilot setting where it could detect them on the side of the road. So this commute is sort of a little bit different just because you get a lot of variable conditions. You get automated stop and go. You have full speed limit. You have merging traffic from the right, from the left. You have an interchange. So it's a good sample of testing the capabilities of this program. I see a lot of YouTube videos of Navigate on Autopilot, and a lot of them are just, you know, jump on the freeway, go straight for a few miles, and exit, and not a whole lot of variables going on. So I thought that this might be interesting to show you guys how it handles variable conditions in a commute. Commute's somewhat short on the freeway. It's, I don't know, 6 or 7 miles probably in total. I did drive out to the service center in Rockland yesterday, and I think that total drive was about 17 miles, and it handled it absolutely perfectly. And that is a video that I'm editing right now, so hopefully I'll post that probably before this one. So seems to be happy in this lane. Not a whole lot of maneuvering needed. So yeah, so far so good on this software update. Haven't really noticed any differences. Very smooth, just like the previous. I did see a couple notes on a couple of the owners groups that people were having trouble with their USB drives after this software update, and it was changing the formatting on their USB drives that we're using for Sentry mode. If you're new to Tesla, Sentry mode is the little camera. Actually, this is the dash cam right here. It has a little red dot on it. Tells you that it is recording. And then also when you're parked, it goes, you can put it in Sentry mode, which activates the cameras as far as a security device. So you can see now we're back up to full speed. Speed limit here is 65 miles an hour. And car is completely driving itself as it has been since we got on the freeway. The only thing you do have to do is you do have to keep a little bit of tension on the steering wheel, just so the car knows that you're paying attention and that you're not sort of dozing off or napping. So there we go. Indicated wanted to do a lane change, executed the lane change, and what it does here, and it's been doing this pretty much all week, is it's setting it up for exiting the freeway, which is coming up in about 2 to 3 miles on Arden Way. Earlier in the week, it did make a couple lane changes in this big sweeping left, which is something that I normally avoid doing. I think it's probably just something that was ingrained for me, I don't know, from driver school or whatever, that when you're going the speed limit and a big curve on the freeway, you just likely skid through that curve before you make any kind of lane adjustments. But completely safe every time it did it. I think it did it twice in that curve this week. And now we have traffic coming in on the right-hand side, merging, so it will read the speed of these cars and probably want to get over to the right-hand lane. So yeah, it just popped up there, put the turn signal on, and give it a little tension here. There it goes, and makes the lane change perfectly. Just cruise straight down until we exit. Once we exit off to the right, it will then revert back into standard autopilot from Navigate on Autopilot. And the standard autopilot will, keep you in the lane. It will read the cars in front and behind and on the side, but it will not change lanes, and it will not navigate on its own. So, and it will not, it won't read stop signs or stop lights. That is supposedly coming up in in a future software release that's hopefully coming up soon. We'll see. So here we go. Blinker. Car takes the exit, and it should now revert into autopilot, which it just did. let the autopilot take us to the stoplight. It's making the curve here. See if it reads. Yep, read those little cones, got out of the way, stayed in this lane, and I will need to brake here because it will not brake on its own because there's no car in front of me, which then drops us out of autopilot. So yeah, software update 2019 28.3. So far so good. We'll see what happens with the see if the USB drive has been changed. When I get to the office, I'll plug that in and take a look at that quickly. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.